And we know Lazarus was their brother. But now, on this one, in this picture, in this story, Lazarus is not mentioned. It's only Mary and Martha. So Jesus passes by. And this is the time when Jesus is going towards something that is going to happen to him. He's going towards his crucifixion. So you can imagine he's going through his friends just to get some rest, some relief, a place where he can speak with someone, with friends who are going to understand him and encourage him, because he knows what is awaiting of him. There is denial. There is, betrayal. You can imagine there is spitting on his face. Some people will put, everything. He is imagining those things are playing in his head. He knows what he's going to do. He says, let me go and find rest in my friend's home. Martha and Mary. And these are Marthas, these are Marys. And then when he gets there, I'm imagining he takes a seat, and then, John says Mary went to the feet of Jesus, and she started doing what? Washing the feet of Jesus with her own hair. But Luke does not say, she just says Mary sat at the feet of Jesus. And Martha, let me talk about Martha. Let me talk about this one. Martha, imagine she is busy until maybe she's sweating. She's looking at that. She's cutting carrots, onions, and putting that and garlic and everything. And then Mary is just sitting, and Jesus is talking to Mary. The Bible does not explicitly say what they were speaking about. But in some areas, like Mark, is like Jesus was teaching Mary. And this one is busy. And then Martha, being Martha, finds Mary and Jesus. Martha speaks to Jesus about Mary. Martha says, don't you care, Master, that I'm working alone, and this Mary is sitting down? Tell her to come and help me. Do you see anything wrong there?
Yeah.
Matsmai, do you see anything wrong there? What is wrong? She could have easily said, Mary, come and help me.
Yeah.
What she's doing is she's making this woman invisible. She's belittling her. She's making a demand to Jesus. This is how you should deal with Mary. Huh? This is how you deal with Mary. Tell her to come and what? And help me.
Yeah.
I don't know. We can be so busy until doing the good thing for God. Working for God, planning what we are planning here. At times we can be planning and be so busy and make these plans of bringing women together and forget sitting at the feet of Jesus. First things first, let's learn to sit at the feet of Jesus. Even I was expecting to see a crowd. When I came here. I didn't plan for only these few women. I was expecting a crowd. Let me tell you. Zoe that day, he was challenging me and saying, was saying, Mama, my hymns, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
Most of them by Methodists. I was reading about this woman, Fanny Cosby. How many of you know? You don't know, but she was a Methodist.
Yeah.
How many songs did she write?
A lot.
I need a lot. A lot is not a number. She's yours, girl. She's a Methodist. She was a Methodist.
Yes, right.
How many songs did she write? They say she wrote about 9,000 songs.
Wow.
And what is it about her? What's something which was different about her? Methodist.
I don't know about it.
She was a blind woman.
Wow.
She got blind when she was only 6 weeks old. I think I told it as a Bible story in our evening worship. She had an infection in her eyes, and the mother took her to a doctor who gave a wrong prescription, and it killed her eyes, and she was blind. This was a blind woman who wrote songs. Pass me not, O gentle Savior, hear my humble prayer, while on others thou art calling. Do not pass me by. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying. You're not singing it. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying, Jesus. You don't know it, but it was written by. There is so much. I am telling you, the Christian movement was started by Methodists, and that's when people. The great disappointment of which year? Let me tell you, I grew up between 3 churches. By a Baptist, a Methodist, a Sibanda. I used to go to the 3 churches. I grew up between the 3 churches. Great disappointment yakaitwa.
1844.
Christians It happened in 1844. Those guys were ready, and most of them were Methodists, were ready for the coming of Jesus. They had read the scriptures. And they took the time unto 2,300 days, and they worked out and everything. And it went in 1844. They said that's when they sold this, stock everything, and waited for Jesus. Jesus did not come. And some people fell away from Christianity. But a few went back and said, let's sit down. Where did we go wrong? They went back to the feet of Jesus and say, where did we go wrong? They started to study the Bible in prayer. They started to plan programs in prayer under the feet of Jesus. And slowly but sure, things were revealed to them. Let me tell you, Mary is not an experience. God reveals himself to you. God reveals himself. So that's when a lot of truth, truth is revealed to us slowly and sure. But how does truth get revealed to you? Is by sitting like Mary at the feet of Jesus. Sometimes we are busy without Jesus. You were walking alone. All you can plan, all you want. As long as he's not there, your plans will come to nothing. Our plans will come to nothing. This woman, as I said, she became blind at the 6 weeks, and she was a baby, and she grew up. She went to a boarding school, and you know what she did at that? By the age of 13, 14, she had memorized the 5 books of the New Testament by head. Age of 14, she had memorized the 5 books. Go and read about her. Fanny Cosby. She had memorized the 5 books often. And then also she memorized Psalms, Proverbs, Songs of Solomon. By memory. They took her to a doctor to go and check on her brain. They said she had such a huge brain, she should do poetry. So she used to do poetry. She was hired everywhere. And those people who benefited were people who were organizing those things. She says to herself, I am happy. That my life has touched so many. I'm told thousands and thousands of people turned to to know God because of you. It's only at the feet of Jesus. If we don't know, do you know that very soon these Bibles will be taken away?
Yeah.
And where are we going to be preaching from if we cannot bring ourselves? Okay, let's say memory yakuramba. But just kungoziva kuti kana zvikanzi verengapa, for God so loved him that
should whoever believes in it no perish.
and you know wanikwa kupi? John 1:3. John 3 verse 16. Yeah, this is what sometimes just come for these things and challenges. As we have a challenge every time. These days we are reading the book of Daniel. It's not easy. It's not easy to understand those beasts and animals and everything. Things like that. We are challenging every Wednesday evening.
Wow.
We go into the book of Daniel and we come together. People come. They are coming out because they are saying we can't understand these things. Yes, you cannot understand them on your own.
Absolutely.
But do you think God, in His wisdom, would have made them, put them here, if it was not meant for our salvation? If it was not meant for our salvation, it was not going to be put here. The Bible is the only book that has seen the test of the times.
Yeah.
Some books have come and gone. They've come and gone. Let me tell you a short testimony about my mom. My mom is 97 years old now. She only went to school up to the time she knew how to write Margaret. And when she was done, the father says, out. You're okay. You are okay. You are going to get married. Why should I waste my money? Now you know how to write, so that when they read out your name somewhere, you know it's you. But do you know that I'm telling this? My daughter is here. If I'm not telling the truth, my daughter will testify against me. My mom, the only thing she could read
That's the Bible.
you write the same verse on another paper. My mom will tell her, I don't know how to read. You give her a Bible, she would read. You give her a Bible, she will read. We were tortured when we were young. That woman would wake up at 4. Go see oh Iswa oh wa muguzena diza gudi lega aguwe oh dikaza and when you knew that song is being sung, you better be in the lounge.
Wow.
You cannot be in your bedroom.
Wow.
And then she will come and preach. We are sleeping there and she is preaching.
Wow.
And then she will pray. A long prayer like a son. A long prayer. We have a 3-year. She has a 3-year son, and every day he wants to start to pray. And his prayer, it will take 30 minutes until our knees are painful. My mom will pray like that. And then she will put her hands over us and pray. And then from there, she will now give duties. You're going to do this and do this. And then from there, she will go to the market from from plant to Bulawayo. She will be the first there at the market to order cinema cabbage and by 7 o'clock she's in Plumtree selling fresh vegetables every day. We went to a boarding school, all of us.
Wow.
Uniform. My dad used to work, but my mom used to work. And without knowing even how to read. Some 3-4 years ago, she was given an honorary by Seventh-day Adventist to be one of the pioneers of the church in Plumtree. Now, I don't know how many churches are there. They started the church as 3 women.
Wow.
3 women. You know what the secret was? Prayer. be at the feet of Jesus. Let us not be busy. It's okay to be busy, but also don't just stay at the feet of Jesus. Once he has taught you, go out, and like that woman who says, come and see. You know, she was sitting at the feet of Jesus, and Jesus was just also passing by from Judea again. He passes by the well of Jacob. And he said, someone says this morning, how can 11 men go to buy food? God had a purpose. 11, was it 11 or 12 of them went to buy food so that Jesus can remain with this woman alone. So this Jesus sits there. He could have said, water come, and the water was going to come, and he drinks. An angel was going to come from heaven and give him water, but no, nothing happened like that. He waits for this woman. He says, woman, can you give me water? He says, you, a Jew.
He sent the 12 because he did not want to be
distracted. You are a Jew. And I'm a Samaritan. You know, Samaritans were the outcasts. I'm a Samaritan. You ask. Actually, he says, when Jews wanted to go somewhere, Jerusalem, they would take a longer way instead of passing through Samaria, because they didn't want to be contaminated by the Samaritans. But Jesus uses a shorter way through Samaria. I'm preaching to someone. Jesus uses a shorter way to reach out to you. Jesus reaches out to you as an individual, not as groups, as an individual. And Jesus says, can you get, you know the story, and Jesus says, no, enough is enough, go and call your husband. Go and call your husband.
Which one?
Because I don't have them. You think I don't know? I know.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't. You think I don't know? I know you don't have. Even the one that you are staying with,
no.
the six, is not yours.
Yeah.
You have had husband number 1, husband number 2, husband number 4, 3, 4, 5. Even the sixth one is not yours. You are just a spare wheel.
Yeesh.
That's why he sent away the 12.
That's why he sent away, because there was a time when he needed to undress her.
Right.
So that she will come to realization who she was. There are times when you come to Jesus, even your husband is not listening, your children, but unless and until you recognize and say, Jesus, please help me. Jesus is able to come down to your level and deal with you as an individual. And when the disciples came, Jesus never spoke about that woman to the disciples. In fact, she left, the Bible says she left everything and ran to those men and said, come and see. She went to the same men who had abused her. Come and see the men. You thought you were men? Come and see the real men. And when they came, there is a statement they said, we did not believe because you told us. We believe because we saw it for our God. You know, God can use anyone amongst us. Through his word and prayer, and you see how God, sometimes God can use you while you are so quiet. Your demeanor, even kubasa. Let me close. I'm resigning from my job, and my boss, for the first time, when I gave her my resignation letter, she started crying and says, I know this place has been kept by your prayers. As you know, I pray, oh God. And I said, I will continue to pray for you. My sister, I will continue to pray for you. You are a good person. I'll continue to pray. She says, I've heard so many people, so many donors saying they come to your office and you pray and help them. But I've been doing it and locking my office. I don't know. I've spoken to young people. I had never thought I would hug gay. I never thought I would hug gay. But I found myself hugging and saying, from today on, you are my son. From today on, you are my son, and I mean it. And I pray with them.
Yeah.
From today, that ministry, from today on, I'm not holy. Please don't get me wrong. But I have purposed it in my heart. I have purposed it in my heart. If God gives me anyone right in my hands, I need to make a difference to that person. I know the most talkative child in my family is Zoe. The middle girl. She would say, the day you are going to die, you will have to say to people, I want to show you the biological children. Because there will be so many children that I've adopted that God has given me. It's not by might or by power or by anything. It's by asking God to say, if you give me one, let me make a change in their lives. Can you pray? How many times have you prayed for other people's children and taken them to be yours in your prayers?
Yeah.
Maybe that person doesn't even know how to pray. Maybe they are so desperate they don't even know. They don't know what to do. And God has given you everything to pray for their children, and you take them to be your children in prayer, privately. It's good to be a Martha. And Jesus says, Martha, Martha, twice. It's enough to be called once, but twice. The first one is to look at me. The second one is, please, Martha, Martha. Yet this one is chosen to be under my feet and learn from me. I'm giving you a challenge, ladies. Let's go and learn from Jesus. So that even our works will be blessed by Him. Whatever we are organizing will be blessed by Him. We started, and the big things, remember, start here in Texas. As we have Zawak started here in Texas. We had to go for 3 days fasting and praying for Zawak. Yes. Today she can tell you how many members. Now we have a problem when you call for retreats, because if you don't pay on time, you won't have space. We have ladies, more than 400 to 500 who come for our retreats. Now at least we have been helped. UK has come up with on Zawak, Australia, Canada. Now at least they are growing. We started something that is growing in so many places. They don't have to come to the US to experience that. You can do something. You are not doing it so that you are known that you have done. You are doing it because you have been sent to go out there. The fields are ready for harvest. Nguva yemakuwa yakadofura. Kana usina kuwaita kudhara yakadofura. Nguva yekuvenga vanhu, you're looking down upon others, judging others yakafura. Kana usina kuzviita kudhara, it's too late. Now it's time for us to work for God. Remember, tine vana pano. Whom we don't know, mangwana nokuwira nemukadzi achiti ndiye mukadzi wangu. Iye ari mukadzi. Anokuwira nemukomana ati ndiye, this is my husband. What are you going to do? Ipapo akadaro unotanga kunyeya mining. Let's be honest. No, you can't. We have things, hot things on our plates, and let us be wise as women. God, she said it, God, the blessing of a man comes through a woman. We have been given a great duty to do, and it's up to us, but it's all at the feet of Jesus. We can do nothing without Jesus. He says, without me, you cannot do anything. May God bless you and bless the reading of His word.